All right, folks, back at Mr. President. Sorry for the break. Had to take care of a few things, but we're back and we're about to start the activation. So China has acted. They didn't do a great deal. It was actually a good turn for me because a lot of their actions failed. And so we can start kicking off our turn with our 3 actions. And these can be any 3 actions. I can also buy additional actions with APs. I'm sitting quite nice on 28 APs. If I break this down, looking at 7 APs per activation phase. So if I go 7, 7, 7, and I'll probably gain a few more along the way as well. So yeah, what are my priorities? What are my priorities? It's a tough one. Look, I want to get rid of this Russian influence before it gets too high. So that might be my first one. Remove Russian influence from the Eurozone, remove China influence from Eastern Europe. I can only do one of these actions. I can only do one of the remove influence counter from region. May only be used once per activation segment. So I'm definitely going to spend 1. And I'll do it to remove this one, I think, from the Eurozone. So let's roll a die. It's a success. That's deleted. That's 1 action done. I've got 2 left. That also reduces Russian influence. 3, 4, 5. They're down to 5 now. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6. My apologies. China is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they've crept up. Maybe I should remove the Chinese one, but oh, geez, they've really crept up. All right, so I need to start focusing on Chinese influence. Look, some crisis relief in Africa would help with this in future. Reduce those crisis levels. Look, in Central Southeast Asia, it's very bad. So let's do that. Let's choose this region, make a regional alignment check. It's going to be tough with all these influence markers. No, it's not. Sorry, crisis relief is stability. Okay, so I'm looking for a 7 or less here. That's a failure, but I'm going to spend an AP to re-roll it. That's also a failure. Unless my Secretary of State has... No, they don't. So that's a failure. I've got 1 action left. I can attempt it again, and I think I will. I can repeat this. Yes, success. So that's just going to reduce the regional crises in Central Southeast Asia. Keep it away from that major crisis region. Look, not a great series of 3 actions. As I said, I'm trying to focus on terrorism, but then I've got all these Chinese and Russian influence counters spreading across the board. It's getting difficult to balance all these things going on. Hey Todd, this is the craziest map board. Yep, there's a lot going on. Look, to cover it all. This is in the one image is difficult. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, it's difficult to capture the whole thing. What are we looking at? Here we go. Yeah, trying to capture the whole thing in the one image. So this is the map of the world, and this is what's going on in America. So they're my actions. Now we come down to drawing crisis chits. So we're here, we draw a chit. It's a regional summit. Okay, this is good. At least it's not a crisis chit. Regional summit. Okay, so I refer to the regional summit table and follow the directions. So if there's a war, level 4 terror group, or rogue state. So hold on. When you draw it, roll a d10 to randomly select the region. Okay, so I roll a d10. The region is 8, which is Africa. Here we go. We're having a regional summit in Africa. Regional crises are not 2 or higher. There's not a war. There's not a level 4 terror group. And there's not a rogue state. So it's not going to be a security summit. Stability is not 4 or less, so it's not economic. So it's going to be a global issues summit. Then I make a regional alignment check. It's failed, so I had +1 dice roll modifier to my global issues summit. The roll is a 7, goes up to 8. Oh, I can spend presidential action points. So I'm going to spend 2 to bring that down to 8, down to 6. I don't have an ally in the region. Ugh, and there's Chinese influence. 8, back down to, so it goes up to 8 and then back down to 7. So the result is a 7. China, if only China, or both, or Russia. So China takes lead on global issues. Place 1 new influence in the region for the nation. Oh my goodness. We now have 3 Chinese influence in Africa. That means I can replace that with a base. So that has to be addressed. We do not want the Chinese building a base in Africa. All right, where was the turn track? Here we go, regional summit. We come down here, it was a plus, so we draw another one. Draw 2 crisis cards. Okay, here we go, what are we gonna get? Oh, military coup in Thailand, +1 regional crisis in the Asia Pacific. Okay. Place 1 tensions counter on both India and Australia. India is looking very tense. Okay. Then I can spend 1 AP to recognise the new government if I do subtract 1 from the roll. Okay. All right. This could be important. I don't want to lose my allies, so I'll spend an AP to subtract 1 from the roll. It's a 6, making it a 5. Lucky I did. Otherwise, I'd lose support. Place a trending pro-US counter. Trending pro-US counter in the Asia Pacific. That's good. All right, we saved that situation. Now, that's done. Oh, wait, we've got to draw 2. So that's the first one. This now is discarded. Draw a second. Oh, cooperation at the UN increases world relief actions. Perform a UN humanitarian aid action in the region with the highest regional crises. How many? We've got 2 in South Asia, 2 in Central America, 2 in Asia Pacific. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're looking at Central Southeast Asia. So we're doing a regional infrastructure aid action. If the world opinion of the US is 6 or higher, it is, I get 1 free UN action immediately. Great. So I get a UN infrastructure aid action in Central Southeast Asia. A UN infrastructure aid, I roll a die. I need a 1 to 5 to increase stability. That's a failure. But now I get a free UN action. I can attempt humanitarian aid. Oh, there's a lot I can do. What I want to do is remove these influence tokens from Africa. I can't do it directly. I could decrease regional crises in this region, and that would let me take actions. Oh, geez, that's going to be a -4, I think, to dice rolls because of all these influence markers now. China influence just went up as well, so I should increase that. I've got to try and do something about this influence, otherwise they're going to win the game automatically. So let's try to decrease regional crises in Africa. Success, that comes down to 0. I can now spend actions to remove these, attempt to remove these, I should say. All right, that's my 2 actions. Come down here, it's a plus, so I draw again. 2 more crisis cards. That's discarded. Draw an event. All right, Russia discovers and exploits Massive Arctic oil reserves place an improving economy marker on Russia. It was worsening. Now it's cancelled out. Then I roll a d10. It's a 7. What is our relation? It's neutral, so no modifiers to the roll. A 7 means Russia sells cheap oil. Economy improving counter on both Russia and China. Oh no. Russia and China's economy is already at max. So we do put a counter there, but nothing else happens. And then this goes into the reshuffle pile. Okay, that's the first one, right? Or was that the second event? Draw chit. Event card drawn. Yep, so that's the first one. Second one is Middle East bombers attack DC bound Amtrak train. I've got to make a homeland security check. 6 or less. It's a pass. The plot is foiled by security agents, but press leaks details. +1 public approval. -1 media relations. Place a new level 1 terror group in the continental US. Okay, can I just clone that and drag it over? And then I may make 2 free intel attempts. Okay. And if success against 1, 2, 3, 4 terror group in the Middle East or US, I'll try against this group in the Middle East. 1 to 4 succeeds. That's a failure. And then I'll try this group in the US. That's a failure as well. So I failed both, and that gets removed from the game. Now we move up to our rogue ally states action, and it is Group A. Group A in our rogue states booklet. So we have the EU, NATO, Republic of Korea, and Iran. Let's start with the EU acting. So in the Eurozone, the EU is here. There's a bit of tension on them. We're going to update their economy. We roll a die. It's a 3. So we place an economy improving marker on the EU economy. All right, that's good for them. No, hold on. This is not. Oh, this is for all 4. This is the world economy. So that goes up as well. That's already at max. 1, 2, 3. And my own one is already improving. Okay. Now we roll for the Eurozone. A 9 is -1 if stability is 6 or 7. It is. +2 is 6 or 7. Their stability is 8. That's funny. There's no modifier for an 8. He's 6 or 7. It specifically says 6 or 7, not 8. So +1 to regional crises in the Eurozone. That's not a concern. That's all that happens. All right, now we activate NATO. We are close allies. So we get 2 joint actions. There's no AP marker on them. So our joint actions can be intel. Now we do have some terror groups here. We can make a raid. We can attempt to stabilize the region to reduce crises. They're not in a war. We can make a humanitarian aid. We can reduce their stress, but I'm not really concerned about that. Let's just do intel. So I'm going to move. It's an automatic success. Done. And then I'm going to auto success 1 max. NATO gets 2 intel successes per action. So they're going to do it again. 1, 2. And then they'll attempt to they're going to attempt request humanitarian aid in any region, maybe Central South Asia or or somewhere with China, basically. Eastern Europe. Let's do this. No, yeah, Eastern Europe. They're going to attempt humanitarian aid in Eastern Europe. That's a success, which reduces our regional crisis down to 0. Again, which lets me then start to try to remove that. All right, now I flip over all tension markers. +2, that's not good. And I make a unilateral action die roll. It's a 7, +2 is 9. Russia-NATO conflict track is that, so it goes up to 10. All right, so the result is a 10. They're going to deploy troops, add 2 strength of any war. If none, increase relative strength by 1 box on the Russia-NATO track towards NATO. That's not bad. Not great, but not bad. Would have preferred some other things, but that's okay. Then remove all their tension markers and replace them with half that much. We're done. Now we activate the Republic of Korea down here. They perform joint actions. We're very close, so they get 2 joint actions. We can do some intel. 2 actions. We can attempt to stabilize the region. Now let's try and get rid of some. What would help get rid of the Chinese here? It would be getting humanitarian aid in the region, because I'm already at 6. They are quite stressed, so I could remove some tension. Let's remove this tension, return this to the draw cup. That's 1 action. I have 1 more action. Look, let's get an auto success intel on this terror group to try and remove it in the future. Now I make a unilateral action roll. It's a 9, -1 because there's no tension counters, so it's 8. They're going to replace a unilateral. Oh, they're going to roll again because there's no sanctions. A 5. 4 is dialogue. Remove a North Korea tensions counter. All right. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, no, that's gonna be the result. Remove that. We're done now. Now I do. I activate Iran. Here we are. So flip over any tensions and sanctions counter. That's going to be a +4 to the Iran action table. 6 +4 is 10. Middle Eastern alignment is 6 or higher. 10, 11. It's an 11, which is a blue result. I add 1 to Iran's nuclear missile track. I'll work this out in a moment. I lose all these things. -1 Middle Eastern stability. No, that's not Middle East. This is the Middle East. +2 tensions on Iran, Gulf states. +3 on Israel. And -2 action points. I've burned through a lot of action points already. And that is not good because it's getting quite high to mass deployment of missiles. They're doing atmospheric nuclear missile testing. Not good. So that was just because I rolled a blue result. Now we actually have, they're going to strengthen Hezbollah, move Israel and neighbors, relative strength, 1 box in favor of neighbors. 1 box in favor of neighbors, sorry, down this way. Okay. Oh, that's created a lot of tension in the Middle East. A lot of tension. And then we check for unstable states. We roll a d10 for each unstable state in Central and South America. There are no unstable states anywhere in Central or South America. So I skip that roll. And that is it for my rogue states. Now I get a Potter's Cabinet focus check. Okay, so Cabinet focus. Beginning with 6, I make a roll. So let's go 6. Don't roll for any focus priority that has a tension counter next to it. So don't roll for this. So I go straight to 5, which is here. Success on a 1 to 2. Is it a -1? I don't think it is for this one. So no. And now number 4, 1 to 3, failure. Number 3, success. -1 to domestic crises in continental US. If already 0, +2 presidential action points. Nice. Now we get to number 2, success on 1 to 4. That's a failure. And number 1, success. Reduce 1 terror group in the US by 1 level. They are deleted. By 1 level, done. Good, good, good. We've removed that terror. All right, that is it. Now tensions counter. Scandal tensions, there are no scandals. At the end of this activation, remove 1 tension from the highest priority that has one, so let's return to the draw cup. Now we move the counter down 1 step, and we have -1 box media relations. It's kind of deteriorating quite rapidly lately. Then we have 2 domestic actions. 2 domestic actions. All right, what can we do now? We can stimulate the economy, which is already quite strong. We can address the domestic issues, and our domestic issues are already at 0. We can address lingering issues, there are none. We can improve relations with Congress, which is already at max. So over the page, party fundraising. Well, we've already got great party relations. We can track a terror target. We've already removed them all. There's no terror targets to raid. We already have bipartisanship at max. And we have no congressional opponents. So whilst I have 2 actions, I'm going to convert them both to action points because there's nothing that I want to do. Okay, no domestic actions. There's nothing on the domestic front that I want to do. That's a good sign. Then we get to the legislative segment. Okay, so the legislative segment starts by determining support or opposition to pending bills. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Legislative section over here. Here are our bills. I total the sum of all ratings of friends and subtract opponents. Now the legislative rating is, where are they? Where are my friends? Top right. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I may move that number of bills 1 box. So 1, 2, 3. Hold on, is there a maximum? I thought it was a maximum. No, no maximum. Yep. Now I attempt to pass bills. The number in the current box is the number of bills. So I've got 2 in here. I can attempt to pass 2 bills. And I'm going to go for these two on the right here. I choose which of the bills because I control both houses. I roll a d6 and apply the modifier. So the top bill first. 4 minus 2 is a 2 on a 1 to 3. It is passed. Same again for education reform. 5 minus 2 is a 3. It is passed. A modified roll of 1 to 3 is the minus 2 in the background. So I've passed both of these bills. Now this is a complicated section. This is where I need to check for signing or vetoing. For any bill that's passed, I roll on the D5 effects of legislation table. And now they're both my bills, so I want to pass them both. Before it's signed, I roll a d6. Let's go the education reform bill for a start. I roll a d6 and reference the chart. There's going to be a -1 for my bipartisan corporation. All right, d6. Here we go. A 1. Okay, every time I roll a 1 or less, it becomes a landmark bill. So this is a landmark education reform bill. I get +3 public approval, which is already at max. I get +1 media relations. Good. I draw and place a new friend. All right. Not a great friend, but I'll take the friend. And that's it. But it's a landmark bill. So I get +2 legacy points. 1, 2. Education reform, great. So and because it was a landmark bill, so the benefit is I place a new friend, and that's a benefit. But I believe I get another political friend for passing. So I get 2 political friends for this landmark bill. I can have 6 friends max. I think I'm at 6 friends. I'm at 6 friends, so I can't have any more friends. All right. Now, if the bill is an administrative priority, receive the awards listed below. So what priority was this? I believe this was it's the number 2 public priority. So I get 1 legacy point, 2 public approval. 1 legacy point, public approval is at max. And this is my campaign promise, right? So I passed a campaign promise bill as a landmark bill. I get 4 public approval, max, 1 public party relations, max, 1 relationship with Congress, max, and 3 action points. It's the only thing I'm getting out of that is the 3 action points. 1, 2, 3. All right. That's the benefits of passing that bill. All right, so now I've got another one to pass. This one here, I roll the dice, subtract 1, need it depends on what I get. So, that's not good. -1 makes it a good bill. Okay, so it passes, but it's not great. This is the free, equal, what is it? Greatest Social Initiative 1. So I've got to see D7. Freedom, individual freedoms and equality. When you introduce it, place the counter on the +1 space. Yep. When you pass it, each level brings unique benefits. Oh, it doesn't matter by how much it passes. So -1 box to lingering domestic issues, -1 domestic crises, +3 public approval, +2 action points. 1, 2. So I'm getting some good action points out of this. It was a good bill, so I get 3 legacy points. 1, 2, 3. That's really important. Hey, Braden. There's a lot going on, but it looks really confusing. All these counters everywhere, all these charts everywhere, lots of booklets, but it's pretty easy to follow along when you've got the charts in front of you. So I've got the charts in front of me, makes it pretty easy to follow along. They're not digitized, so yeah, you have to have a copy of the game to play it. But yeah, it's pretty easy to follow along if you have these charts. It's hard to convey that. So that's now passed. So it flips over to, I think it flips over to Advance 2. And when I pass Advance, well, when I pass it, I think maybe it stays on Advance 1. Next time I pass it through Congress, it'll have Advance 2, and I'll get even more benefits, basically. All right, so that is the 2 legislative bills that I have passed. Now I can introduce new bills. I'm going to grab, I don't think it really, oh, what? Let's have a look at the benefits. So D6 rather. This is again off-map charts. Greatest social initiatives. National security defense. I'm going to grab this national security defense and place it. Always goes on the +1. And what are my other priorities here? Lingering domestic issues. Let's grab a lingering domestic issues bill, and let's introduce that. And it goes on the -1 because I control both houses. So this is a special one. It's a Greater Society Initiative. It's going to try and help me. If I pass this, it helps me advance my strategic capabilities, which I'm kind of really struggling on. All right. So I've introduced 2 new bills. I then compare the media ratings of all friends and move public approval, that number of boxes. If the result is a maximum of 3, which it is, I adjust media relations 1 box higher. So now my media relations goes 1 up, and that's because I have no opponents. They're all friends and their media is massive. Media rating there is huge. No scandal investigations. I have more moderates than radicals. So cooperation is at max. And perform 1 free action of any type for each of my bills that were passed. So I get 2 free actions. 1 free action of any type. So basically, yeah, I get 2 free actions here. It can be anything I want. I want to remove some Chinese influence from the world. They're getting far too dangerous. And I think I'm going to try to remove them from the Middle East. Or I'm going to try to remove a Chinese counter. I need here, it's going to be, there's no dietary modifiers. So maybe I'll remove them from Africa. Africa's 6, no regional crisis. I roll the dice. I need a 1 to 7. Fail. I'm going to spend an action point to re-roll that. Success. I can delete a Chinese influence. Whew. That's lucky, so they can't build a base here right now. That's 1 action. Now I can take a presidential action, and what I'm thinking here is, I'm thinking a presidential trip. I don't need public approval, that's the thing. I'd love to have some UN goodwill. Look, maybe I've just introduced this special Greater Society Initiative bill. What if I try to rally support for it? So let's do that. A 6, -1 for my approval, -1 for bipartisan support, gives me a 4, which is a failure. So I might try to re-roll that. I'm going to spend another action point. A 2 is a success. So this now moves 1 box to the left. All right, they're my 2 actions. Legislative Senate agreement is done. We move down here to drawing a chit. Good times. Good times. Okay, so where's the good times chit? We roll on the good times table, which is D15. Again, all these booklets that are not digitized. Good times table. We roll the die. It's an 8. We have host a summit with major US multinational CEOs, CFOs, a federal chairman, blah, blah, blah. Hammer out an agreement that allows corporations to move overseas cash home. It's an everyone has their say, no one has their way discussion that builds understanding and trust between business and government. The new rates, blah, blah, blah. Place an improving economy marker, +1 relation with the Congress, +1 public approval. Everything's at max. So nothing happens at all. That's a shame. Things are good on the domestic front. Need to wrestle with the international front. All right, so nothing happens there. We move down to focused national intelligence. Okay, so I roll on the national intelligence collection table. It's a D10 roll. It's an 8. To determine the effects of my intelligence gathering in Central Southeast Asia. Is my strategic reconnaissance higher? It is higher than other nations, so it's a -1. But my cyber warfare is not higher than both. And their influence counters has an influence counter in the region and their cybersecurity. Yes, that's a +1 and then a -1. So we're looking at an 8, 7, move a 3, 2, 1 terror group to the locating box. All right, so that's all we do. We just start locating. Oh, locating is the middle one. All right, so we work to locate some terror groups. That's all that happens. All right, that was a pretty quick action. Now we get 4 diplomatic or military actions. Here we go. Now, going to try and target this counter. Again, I need a 6, 7 or less. Got to re-roll that. Spend an action point to re-roll. Ah, no. That's my one chance to remove it. I'm down to 3 actions now. 3 actions. Do I have a targeting fixed on any of these terror groups? No. Oh, yes, this one here. So I can do a military action over here to perform a raid on that group using my special operations. Oh, wait, I don't have special operations force in the region. Special ops, yeah, okay. So I'll leave them there for the time being. Oh no, I don't actually have to have it. It gives me a modifier if I have spec ops in the region, but it's not required. Yeah, it's not required. It helps. So these spec ops certainly help, give me a modifier, but they're not required. So I'm going to try and raid this level 2 terror group in... No, you know what? Oh, I'm thinking about it. How else can I address China through diplomatic actions? I can only do 1 attempt to remove their counters. I really need to decrease tensions in the Middle East here. So I'm going to try and decrease tensions with the Gulf states and Israel. I'm going to spend 1 action to remove 2 counters. Oh, I've got to roll for it. No, it's an ally, no roll. Just remove it. So return to the cup, return to the cup. How many actions is that? It's 2 actions left. I'm going to do the same with the Gulf states. Return to the draw cup, return to the draw cup. I've got 1 action left. Look, I feel like I need to I'm worried about Iran. How can I help? impose sanctions maybe. Look, I know Russia's going to act, so maybe I can impose some sanctions on Russia. I think I might do that. Yeah, I'm going to impose some sanctions on Russia. They're causing too much trouble. So select target country, it'll be Russia. Their relations are not 4 or 5, so I can't attempt it. I'm going to attempt multilateral sanctions. -1 because there are 2 tension markers. -1 because I'm going to spend an AP. It's -2. My relation with Congress is 7 or more, so it's -3. -1, 2, 3. All right, and I need a 4 or less, so that means -1 as well, so -4, I need 8 or less. And I'm going to spend an AP to re-roll that. Success. All right, so we now place multilateral sanctions on Russia, which will diminish their ability to take actions and hurt me, basically. Braden's asking, how does this compare to political process? I'm not sure about that one, sorry. This is quite a huge game. I've been going for hours and hours, and I'm only in the 2nd year of my 4-year turn. So then my 4 actions done. Where are we? 4 actions are done. End of the activation phase. We can now move up to activation phase 2. Activation phase 2, yep. And we begin by drawing a crisis chip, which is 2 crisis cards. First crisis card is partisan gridlock in Congress. Move all bills right by 1 box. Oh, this is not good. It took me ages to get that up. So I move that left. These all move right by 1 box. That's a horrible event. Then I choose to either call for renewed bipartisan spirit, which can improve relationship with Congress, which I don't need. I don't need new friends, or bash Congress and promote my party. Public approval, -1 relationship with Congress, +1 party relations. If I fail, well, I think I'll try the one on the left. So make a relationship with Congress check. 1, I pass. So I get 1 relationship with Congress, which is already max. And I draw and add a new friend. I can't have any more new friends. +2 public approval, -1 party relations. So I do lose now a party relations, and I do lose a friend. Is this random when I lose a friend? Or do I get to choose the friend? Who are these? These are congressional friends. Do I lose the congressional friends? Randomly discard a friend. So we'll count from the top to the bottom. 5, which is this one. Oh, they were a good friend. Return to the cup. All right. And that's the first action. So that is now sent to the reshuffle pile. And I draw again. It's a Camp David summit. All right. Choose to invite either leaders of Congress or leaders of one region. All right. So for Congress, if you have the respected by Congress, I don't. For regional leaders, -1 if I have an allied best friend. I don't have that either. So what are the effects here? Summit successful, +1 relation with Congress or trending US. I don't need relation with Congress, so I'll pick a regional leader. What region do I want? Africa, to get rid of all these markers. So I'm going to pick Africa. I'm going to invite leaders of Africa to Camp David. Minus no modifiers. I am likable. I am likable. So -1 to my roll. That's a success. So trending pro-US counter in Africa. It's already trending, so we remove that trend and look at this. Africa, oh, no, wrong one. This one. Look at that. Africa loves the USA. That's it. And that goes into the reshuffle pile. Now, where are we? We're here. It was a plus, so we draw again. Ugh, we're drawing 3 cards now. We're down to here. No plus on it, so we won't continue beyond this. All right, we have massive tornadoes. This is a natural disaster. +1 domestic crisis. Place 1 tension counter on the cabinet. Decide whether to spend 1, 0, 1 or 2. I'll spend 2. I will help my people. And then I roll a d6 and subtract 2, which makes it a 2. No further effect, but put it in the blue box. Okay, there we go. That's the first card done. Second card is Supreme Court Justice retires. Choose one of 2 types, party ideologue or moderate, as your new candidate. Place the Supreme Court nominee counter. I don't know why this is not showing. I want to flip it. There we go. I don't know why it's doing that. Party ideologue or moderate. Place a nominee with the type you chose facing up in the 0 box in Congress. Now, is this a counter? Here we go. So it's either party ideologue or moderate. Where is it? Sorry. In the 0 box in Congress with, as with a new bill. So basically I would place it in the 0 box in Congress as I would with a new bill. Now, if I chose a moderate, move left by 1 box and -1 party relations. If I control both houses, left another box. So I could put this in the -2. I will vote on this candidate as I would a normal bill. Once I get a roll that would pass the bill, the justice is confirmed. The candidate is removed before confirmation, so I will roll on this as though it was a normal bill. Then choose a new candidate. So by picking a party ideologue, it makes it more difficult, but I don't lose the party relations. I think I'm going to pick a moderate. So it goes left 1 box and I lose the party relations and I lose a friend. And it goes left 1 box again because I control both houses. Makes it easy to pass. And keep this in front of you until the Senate has confirmed. So I'm going to place this over here. Yep. And effective legislation chart. I'm just going to double check that. D5. Make sure there's no other implications because there's all this sort of hidden Supreme Court nominee. Okay, so party ideologue, bipartisan support, 2 legacy points. I get more legacy points for choosing a moderate. Party ideologue gives me party relations, but I lose some party approval. Yeah, no, I think I'm happy with that. Let's leave them there. All right, so that is that done. That was my second event. Third event now. Is Chilean government threatened as rioting urban poor torch Valparaiso. +1 regional crisis in South America. I may spend 1p to send an envoy to assure them of our support. Yes, I'll do that. I will assure them of our support. And that's it. Alright, that is discarded and removed from the game. They're the 3 events for that chit. So we skip this because there's no plus sign. Any 3 actions, and then I do a core support check. All right, any 3 actions as usual. I'm going to try and remove some of these. This is now level 7, so it doesn't matter what the regional crises are. I can roll to remove this. 1 to 7 removed. I'm going to spend an AP to re-roll it. Don't fail again. Yes, and remove a Chinese influence. So what I've done is I've worked around the world to improve the alignment of these regions, and it's now easier to reduce their influence if I roll reasonably well. That's 1 action. I have got 3, so I've got 2 left. All right, I need to address Iran's nuclear capabilities. I don't know. I can't remember how to do that. I do have a rogue state, which I would like to address over here. So I could go to war with that rogue state if I move a lot of my military forces over. But what else? More sanctions? More sanctions on Russia? Because they're causing me a lot of trouble. Sanctions on Iran, perhaps? Because they are causing a lot of trouble. One thing, sorry, I think when I did Iran, I forgot to remove their tensions at the end. So they should be returned to the cup and draw 1 to round it down. Because I did act on, they did do stuff. What else? What else? Diplomatic actions. Decrease tensions. I could do some more to decrease tensions with the Gulf states. That could be good. We could work on a summit perhaps with Russia or China. And I think one of the outcomes of that is, so for example, if I work with China, for example, on a summit, I think we can work to reduce Iran's, control, I don't know, it's Russia, I think. Russia works to control Iran's nuclear ambitions. Control Iran's nuclear ambitions. Yes, we can. So let's have a summit. We're going to have a summit with Russia. This is our second action. It's 1 action. I follow the procedure for a summit. So we have, our relation with Russia is neutral at the moment. So we can choose 2 problems to address. The first of these is going to be to control Iran's nuclear ambitions. There are no, I can't do it because I put sanctions on Russia. Only if no sanctions on Russia. I can't do it. All right, cancel that. Cancel that. North Korea has no nuclear ambitions at the moment. They're not really doing anything, so I'm not so concerned with that. All right, thinking about the other actions. I think I have to do some military actions, and I'm just looking at terror groups. Yes, I've got a terror group here, so I could do a strike on this group. That would be one option. It had to be a drone strike. And maybe I could do that. The thing is, I get 2 drone strikes. So it might be worth identifying another one of these terror groups first by directing intel. Select 2 terror groups, roll a d10. Okay, so I'm going to try and do that in Central America, just in case this gets worse. So I'm going to try to direct intel. Yeah, I'm going to direct intel. So first of all, the level 3 group that's on the chart. A 6, I have intel advisors, and a -1 to my roll is a 4, which is a success. We advance them. They're going to try the other level 1 group. That's a success as well. So they're both on the chart. So I choose 2 groups in the region. Now, I've got 1 action left now, and that's going to be to perform a strike on up to 2 drone strikes or airstrikes on targets. So drone strike here, airstrike on these guys. So the drone strike first, I roll a die. It's not good, but I've got an intel counter in the region, so that makes it an 8. They're in the target fixed. No, they're not. So down to 7. So I'm unable to identify them. No losses or effect. And then for these guys, I roll again. It's a 7, 6, 5. Strike is effective. Decrease the terror group by 1 level, so they're gone. But place a US military footprint. -1 to public approval. And -1 goodwill or trending anti-US. Okay, I didn't like that. Okay, and then my military action's done. So, check for core support. Okay, so core support is, where is it again? Here, party relations 2, so I move my public approval 2 markers towards 40. And that's it. Now, terror or chaos. Okay, let's roll the dice. 1. We're going to have a terror, WT1. There are going to be some terror acts. Okay, increase, when you roll this, do all the following things. Increase the regional crisis in a region containing a rogue state by 1 box. Should have gone to war. Oh, where is the regional crisis? Oh, this escalates. Each region where there's at least 2 level 1 terror groups, here for example, remove 1 and replace it with a level 2. In each region, so each region we have 2 level 1s, remove 1, let's make that a level 2. Remove 1, that becomes a level 2. Remove 1, that becomes a level 2. Remove 1, that becomes a level 2. There's a lot of these going on. Okay. Now I make a terror roll, terror axe roll on the table, a d10. +1 for every level 3 or 4 group. I think I've got 1 level 3, so it's a +1. Then -1, brings it back down to 2. And the result is create a new level 1 terror group in 2 random regions. 6 and 6. Oh, they're both going in Southeast Asia. They've got a maximum of 5, so they'll create a level 1 terror group. That's all. Okay. Then, if there's a rogue state on their map, there is. Should have got rid of them. They roll to export terror. They roll. It's an 8. If there's a level 1 or terror group in Conus, randomly increase. Otherwise, add a level 1 group to the USA. Let's clone that. Drag it over. Alright, that's all that happens. That wasn't so bad, I guess. Not good, but not terrible. Alright. Back to Ally Axe. Group D now on our Ally Axe. And Group D is going to be Canada, the Gulf States, and rogue nations, of which there's only 1. Canada first. Joint relation, we're very close. There's a level 3 in Africa. Ah, thank you. Terror group, sorry, let me go back to that. Terror Axe. What did I roll? It wouldn't have changed anything. 8, 9, 10, minus 1. Six. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have changed it. Same result. Okay, so Canada, Gulf states. I've got 2 joint actions with Canada. All right, now we've got a terror group here. We could identify this group. It's only level 1. That said, it's good to get rid of these groups pretty quickly. What else can I do? Stabilize a region. Reinforce a war. De-escalate a conflict. Request humanitarian aid. Reduce stress. They're not too stressed. So I'm just going to identify this terror group. Automatic. And then there's nothing in the target fixed roll, so they're going to request humanitarian aid. It's a 6. It's a success. I can decrease status by 1 level and minus 1 tension to each nation. Oh, sorry, this is de-escalate. Humanitarian, reduce regional crises in Central America. Get it away from that crisis box. And that's it for Canada. They now flip over tensions markers, +1. And they make a unilateral action die roll. 6 + 1 is 7. No Russian influence here. No level 3 or 4 terror groups here. Russia NATO status is another +1. So 6, 7, 8. Joint US sanctions remove any one unilateral or replace a unilateral with a multilateral counter. If there's none, roll again. 7, 8, 9. Joint terror campaign. Reduce 1 terror group in CONUS or Central America or South America. So I can reduce that by 1 level. I'll do that. Get rid of a level 3 terror group. I can choose. Excellent. So Canada is done. They remove their tension. They replace it with nothing, which is good. Activate the Gulf states. All right, here we go. And I've tried to reduce the tension in the Gulf states, but they're still quite tense. They're close allies, so we get 2 actions. I'm actually going to remove 2 of their tension markers. We're going to do an intel on this level 2 terror group, so I can start targeting them. That's 2 actions. Then we flip this tension over. No effect. That's good. So there's no modifier there. Half the Gulf states, Iran. Half of 3 is rounded down. It's 1. So we add 1 to their roll. And the roll is a 10, 11. Okay, so they're going to build air and naval forces. Increase their relative strength versus Iran by 1, which is good. Increase the conflict status by 1 box, which is bad. That's all. That's all. No other modifiers. All right, so that got to cool some tensions here. Now I reduce that, replace it with nothing because there was only 1 marker there. All right, but now the Gulf states go to the rogue activation table to determine whether they act. Here they are here. Roll a d10. 6, no modifiers. Oh, it's going to be North Korea or Iran, whichever has more tension counters. Iran has 2, North Korea has none. So Iran is going to act. Iran is going to act. Group A, Iran, they roll a 5. I reveal their tension markers. Ooh, they're quite tense. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, which is a blue box. Oh no. Add 1 to their nuclear capabilities. This is going to decrease stability again in the Middle East. It is going to add 2 tensions on Iran and Gulf states. And +3 to Israel. And +1 to Iran-Israel conflict track. This is not going to be good. There's a lot of tension there. What did I get? Sorry. That was a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Flip one unstable state in the Middle East to civil war. Oops. To civil war. Increase conflict status in Gulf states versus Iran by 1 box. Oh, we have a war breaking out. This is not good. All right, so a war breaks out between the Gulf states and Iran. I just didn't get an opportunity to escalate this so quickly. So war number 1 now. We have got the Gulf states, they're going to war again, at war with Iran. Okay, we've got to set up this war now. This is going to be a bit complicated because, oh well, we're very close to the Gulf states, so we may be able to help them. War progress. Place a conflict type. Status marker stalemate. I think the Gulf states are technically the attacker. The Iran is the attacker because that was initiated on their action. The strength. The Gulf states. Okay, so Iran has a strength of 6. Gulf states 5. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is very tough. So the war, oh wow, there's a lot going on right now. So war breaks out. I think that's most of it. But then we have an original, when you initiate a conflict, I didn't initiate it. I now have to make a war progress die roll. So it's 1-1, it's a ground war. We have to roll for this straight away. It's a 1. Oh, this is not good. 1-1, ground war, no move, both sides lose 1 step. And that's it. 1-1, sorry, oh, it does go 1 to the left. So the Gulf, the 1-1, oh, only the defender loses 1 loss. Okay, so 1 to the left, defender loses 1 step. Not good for the Gulf states, so I've got to help them out. They shouldn't have started that war. All right, where were we up to? So that was Iran acting. That was a long time to work through that. And they're done. Yeah, increased conflict status, yep. That's it. So I'm a bit worried now because they have got -3 presidential action points as well. 1, 2, 3. Down to 19. That's okay because I'm almost halfway through. And UN acts. Okay, good. I get some UN actions. First of all, humanitarian aid with the highest regional crisis value. Okay, I believe it'd be Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific or South America, or there's a lot. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3 will be here. On a 1 to 8, it's reduced. Yep, so that comes down 1. 1 infrastructure aid with the lowest stability. Well, that's going to be, I believe, the Middle East, because they're down to 4 now. Oh no, South America, so we've got to roll for it. 1, 2, 3 on the left. Yep. So here we roll for stability. They succeed, which increases Middle Eastern stability, which is good. Now, a youth empowerment with, in the lowest stability region, which is here now, that contains a level 2 or 3 terror group. I need a 1 to 5. If it's a failure, nothing happens. Peace talks in a civil war. We've got a new civil war coming out. So I make a civil war resolution attempt with the lowest stability. Region with the lowest stability. There's no civil wars here, so yeah, the Middle East. Civil war, we'll try and get a civil war resolved here. A couple of modifiers. 9, 8. There are peacekeepers here, but it's not, I think they should be attached to that counter. So looking at 8, 7. 7 is no further effect. Okay. And then I get US initiated actions. I will spend an action point to take a US initiated action. And we're going to try to have an arms control negotiation. I'm going to try and decrease the Iranian nuclear missile track. Right, so there are some modifiers to this. I roll the die. It's a 1, that's going to be successful. So I decrease this. This is going to be very successful, actually. Decrease it by 1 box and reverse any tensions listed. So I get +3 AP. Reverse the tensions listed. Reversing tensions listed in the newer box. So I guess I just reverse this. So I get 2 APs. 1, 2. Where's that box gone? +1 Middle Eastern stability. Good. And remove 2 tensions on Iran, Gulf States, and Israel. So they should have been removed anyway. Replace with 2, which I then remove, and we remove 2. Now how many from Israel? 3 from Israel, and 2 from the Gulf States. So we'll reverse these. Only the lower box though, so I think I don't keep, maybe I don't get my action points back. 1, 2. It does say the lower box. Okay, now I roll a d10 again to determine if there's a Russian influence. Okay, so this says place a Chinese influence in Central or South Asia. Oh no, they've got 3 now as well, and that goes up. Okay, all right. Yep, that's it. That's UN actions done. 3 domestic actions now. Oh, look, and the domestic actions aren't, there's not much I can, oh, well, maybe there is now, because some things have changed. We do have a domestic crisis now, so let's address that. I need to roll the dice. An 8. 8, 7. What do I need? A cabinet check, sorry. It's a cabinet check. So I need, where's my cabinet? I need a 6 or less. So an 8 minus 2 is going to be a narrow success. Decrease the domestic crisis by 1 box and +1 approval rating. Okay. That's 1 action. I've got 2 more. Domestic actions. There are no domestic crises now. That's been resolved. There is a terror group there. How's my relationship with Congress going? It's deteriorated a little bit, so let's try and improve this. I'd love to have this up in the top box. So I will forgo this. Oh no, this is relationship with Congress. This is this box. I don't need that. I want bipartisanship. Fundraising and support to improve party relations. So yes, I'll increase that. No role needed. 1 action less, I'm going to increase bipartisanship. So I roll a d6, a 4. It's not going to have any effect. Oh, plus an action point. It cost me an action point as well. So I'm going to try and re-roll that. Spending an action point. Oops, sorry. Spending an action point and re-rolling. A 4 again, no effect. Okay. And then I'm done. So we move down here to chit draws. Cascading event. Oops. Don't remove that. There's only 1 card there anyway. Hold on. There were 2 cards there. So, what do I do here? I draw... Cascading events. Shuffle all the cards, then randomly draw 1 and apply the result listed. Okay, so I'm going to draw 1 to 3, top 1, 4 to 6, bottom 1. So that's the top 1, which is going to be this. Okay, +1 domestic crisis. I just cleared it up. Where is it? There it is. Place 1 tensions counter. That's another one on number 5. Okay, choose whether to spend. I'll spend 2 APs for this. 1, 2. And then roll a d6. 4 minus 2 is 2. No further effect. Oh, sorry, it's here. No, apologies. Undo all that. Okay, sorry, because we're looking at the wrong thing. It came out of the 2 deck, so we'll look at this bottom right area. Cleanup costs. Place a tensions counter. Okay, so place a tensions counter on 5. I do that. I can spend an AP. Sure. Spend an AP now. If I don't, bad stuff happens. And that now goes into the 3 deck. All right. That was it for cascading events. Now war progress. Wars and civil wars. All right. I'm going to sort all these civil wars and wars out. Let's do the civil wars first. So we've got a couple of, this one has a ceasefire. So let's roll and see what happens here. A 7, minus 2 is 5, minus 1 is 4, ceasefire, permanent cease, remove the civil war ceasefire counter, and any UN peacekeepers, decrease regional crises by 1 box, place an unstable state counter. All right. Unstable state. Where are the unstable states? There we go. Unstable state. This civil war, we roll. It's a 2. Minus 1 is a 1. Ceasefire. Replace the civil war with a ceasefire. Decrease regional crisis by 1. Place peacekeepers under it. That's good. Remove an Iranian influence counter if there are any. There aren't any. And then we have a civil war in Africa. Ceasefire. A 10 is not going to be good. Oh no. This is going to be -1 makes it a 9 at least. +1 regional crisis. Replace. Oops, sorry, no. Fighting intensifies. Increase. That's all. Increase regional crisis by 1 box. That's all we do. Ah, but now we've got the war progress. So I haven't been able to help with this war yet. But here's the war. It's 1 to 1. Let's roll a dice and see what happens. 1 to 1, 7. No move. 1 attacker loss. Asterisk after applying change to a guerrilla war. Okay, so it has changed, and that's the only war that's going on. So nothing else happens. That's war progress complete. Now get any 4 diplomatic or military actions. All right, I'm going to start. Where was that other Chinese marker? 3 here. I need to reduce this by 1. Okay, so I need to start by. I need to start by crisis relief, rolling a dice, a 3, that's going to decrease regional crisis by 1 box. Now this is at 6 and this is at 0, so my second action, I've got 4 here, right? Second action is try to remove Chinese influence, success. All right, that means I can't build a base here now. 2 more actions. And I think I'm going to move my forces. So I'm going to do a military action to move or deploy forces. 2 carriers or marine units. I have an air force. Where am I moving? Over here to Central America. So I'm going to move 1. What do I want? They're going to have a strength of 5. I've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That'll give me 2 to 1 at least. And then we'll see how we go, I guess. And then I can do it again if I want. 2 more carriers, or I could move my heavy. Actually, what do I do? Carriers, I might leave them there. I could start the war, I guess. I could spend another action to initiate hostilities against this rogue state. Yeah, let's do that. Do I get surprise? Yes, I do. All right, so we're starting a war against this rogue state here. War number 2. And this rogue state will have a strength of 5. And I should have about 11. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. And here's the war here. You have to set it up. Now we have to prosecute this war. I've got 2 to 1. And there's going to be a couple of other modifiers as well. So what are the other modifiers? Well, it's a combined there. Surprise -1. I don't have FNI. I'm attacking -2. I have an Air Force cannon -3. There's no Russian Chinese influence here. So we're looking at 2 to 1 odds -3 is a 1. So 2 to 1, 1. We move the war 1 space to the left and 2 defender losses. That'll make the next attempt just a little bit easier. Now, I've got to remember, often forget, at the end of the war step, where is it? Okay, apply result. +1 to regional crises. I always forget these end of war steps. So +1 to regional crisis level. +1 military footprint in the region. And the war progresses. I can spend 2 APs to increase military spending. So I'll do that, 1, 2, to increase my strength by 1 in this war. That'll give me 4 to 1 odds the next time this is fought. Oh, if I spend the APs, make a state of the economy check. I pass. And that's all. Always forget those end of war steps, got to remember that. Okay, that's the 4 actions. 4 actions I think are now done. Now we get to the state of the economy impact. 2 economic assistance actions. So ally relationship, allies are very happy. So I can do 2 pro trending US. So I can move this one up 1. And what else? I can reverse that to try and keep that. That's 2. Yeah. Okay, done. Now I get 3 public approval. 1, 2. I get 2 action points. 1, 2. This is all for the state of the economy benefits. And +1 relationship with Congress, which is already at max. So nothing else happens. That brings me to the end of my second activation phase. I'll wrap it up here. But yeah, look, managing the situation. Halfway through my second year, let's double check Russia. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, they're on 6. China. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I did manage to bring them down 1, but I'm really going to have to start focus on every action I get. I'm trying to do this. I keep trying to bring them down. Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for watching.